Hey, what do you say? It's the Weather Impact Show, the news two-way. I'm Meteorologist James Scott. Let's get right down to brass tacks. Hey, talking about our current conditions, 60s and 70s across the board. My goodness, what a beautiful Tuesday it was. I guess you're watching on your phone right now. If you haven't stepped outside today, you really need to this afternoon heading into the evening. Really going to be glorious. Remember this morning, it was definitely on the cold side. It will be on the cold side again, or chilly side, cooler side, let's call it that. Waking up for our Wednesday. But temperatures, they do get over the hump in a major way. There is going to be a cool down on Thursday, but goodness, we're talking about possibly the warmest air we've seen all year. We can probably call it hot at this point. We'll be pushing 90s, I'm thinking, by the end of the weekend, moving to next week, and likely the warmest air we've seen since September of last year. So what's that, 7, 8, even going on 9 months ago. Very, very warm. The point is, enjoy this more spring-like weather while it lasts. Not very humid, very dry. Obviously, you want to see some more rain. We'll talk about that in just a bit. As I was talking about as well, overnight tonight, those lows dropping down near 50. A lot of us were waking up near 40 this morning. So, hey, we're warming up about 10 degrees from morning to morning, if you will, for this Wednesday coming up. All clear, not expecting any rain chances really anytime soon. Remember, those lows tonight getting on down closer to 40. Some of us may be a little bit warmer, closer to 50, I should say. Some of us obviously may be a little bit cooler, a little bit warmer, depending on where you are. Walking throughout your planner for your Wednesday. Yeah, going to be a bit on the breezy side, easy and breezy. We're talking about gusts 20 to 25 miles per hour at the very, very most, and then it's heading into the tail end of the afternoon, moving into the evening, that we could be talking about a stray shower, maybe a rumble of thunder or two. Wouldn't be shocked if we see a bona fide thunderstorm, maybe a localized heavy downpour. For the most part, though, this is not going to amount to a whole lot, if anything at all, for the vast majority of us. Again, the bigger picture, at least for now, is the warmth moving in ahead of a cold front that's coming in from the north and west, and that could get us awfully close to 80. We'll see if we can get there. Right now, we're going around 78. Obviously, within that 3-degree guarantee, could be up to 80, maybe 81 for the lucky few, especially if you do like the warmth. So not a weather impact alert kind of evening, but we are watching out for a few showers and maybe a stray thunderstorm or two, really starting between 5, 6 p.m. Hopefully that doesn't catch you on your tail end of the commute there, moving into the overnight hours early on Thursday. So again, this is not tonight, this is tomorrow night, your Wednesday night into very early Thursday morning. Now, the grand scheme of things, looking at your futurecast, this is the second cold front in about as many days moving through, except this one is not going to bring at least too much in terms of at least overnight cold air. We will see things really cool down, though, for our Thursday afternoon. It will also be breezy, have this upper level low kind of squeezing in between this area of high pressure to the southwest and low pressure up to the north and east. When you have those pressure gradients, that can lead to quite a bit of wind. And yeah, wouldn't be shocked to see some gusts 20, 25, maybe approaching 30 miles per hour. Nothing crazy, but yeah, we'll be on the breezy side for our penultimate day of the work week. Now, what does this mean in terms of rain? Because boy, do we need it. Going to kind of flash over here, looking at our future cast from the more local perspective. Remember, this is back on Wednesday. As this front begins to move through from the north and west, yeah, could see a few, let's call them isolated showers, maybe a little bit more scattered as this front really begins to sweep on by. And again, you're seeing this over near Roxborough, north and east of Burlington there in Alamance County. It's actually Person County up to the north and east there, Caswell County. It looks like for the most part that moisture remains up to our north, and even then it's going to be pretty limited at best. And this is going to be a pretty quick hitting system. I'll rewind a little bit here. This pretty much enters the mountains by 4 or 5 o'clock at the very, very earliest there, and it's pretty much on through our entire area by midnight, if not even sooner than that. This is going to be a very quick hitting system, so yeah, we could see some gusty winds within those individual cells. Nothing severe, but again, just might want to watch out for those gusty winds. Again, 20 to 30 miles per hour, and they definitely could be on the louder side. Now, moving into our Thursday, those winds really do begin to pick up. Could see anything between 10 to 15, maybe even up to 20 sustained. And those gusts obviously could be even higher than that. They're obviously coming in from the north and west as well, which means cooler air is filtering in our direction. We'll be awfully close to 80 tomorrow on Thursday. Yeah, we might be sniffing the mid-60s really at best. Some variable clouds, especially if you end up with some more cloud cover. It will be pretty difficult for you to get much above 60, if at all. Now, getting beyond there, temperatures do begin to rebound in a major way. It's going to be a chilly start to our Friday as well, but quickly, as you're going to see in just a bit, we're going to be racking up the mercury in a major way. We're talking about highs well into the 80s, and as I talked about at the very beginning, could be pushing 90 degrees for the first time all year, dating back to last September. So looking at your rainfall forecast, according to your in-house model here, again, some localized amounts. Look at that over in Roxborough, the top right-hand side of your screen there. Could be pushing maybe a little bit closer to a quarter of an inch. That is going to be the exception to the rule. A lot of us probably don't end up with much, if anything, really at all. You see in Greensboro about 2/100ths there. Burlington, kind of splitting the difference there between Greensboro and Roxborough, more like 15/100ths of an inch, so about a tenth and a half, if you will. But you see a lot of empty space there, which means, especially the farther west you go, the mountains are going to take a good bite out of this system. Again, there's a whole lot of moisture to work with to begin with, but it will really, again, take the bite out of there, and wouldn't be shocked if a lot of us end up with the old goose egg there in the rain gauge. So the grand scheme of things, kind of zooming things out, looking at our upper level pattern, just kind of shows where this warmth and also cold air is moving in. Remember, it will be a bit on the chillier side on our Thursday, at least in the afternoon, a little bit breezy as well. But then we start to get a pretty powerful ridge of high pressure building in from the southwest. You can kind of see that that clockwise motion going on here just over the eastern Gulf there. That is a ridge of high pressure, and that's going to do its best to pump in some warm air, and it will succeed. We're going to see quite a bit of warm air moving in our direction. Really talking about the latter half of the weekend, but for your Saturday as well, probably getting in the mid 80s there. We're going to be talking about mid to upper 80s, maybe even pushing close to 90 degrees. That's right, the big 9-0 for your Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday of next week. It looks like this pattern is going to stick around, and it may become a little bit more humid as well, starting to feel a bit more like summer. And you know what happens with summer? Could start to see some pop-up thunderstorms. So even though we're not really going to see much over the next 7 days, besides the very limited activity we end up with on our Wednesday, really Wednesday evening heading into our Thursday, it doesn't mean that, hey, we can't really begin to bump up those pops. That is those chances of precip, chances of rain, especially as we move into next week. But really the big story beyond the very limited rain we do see over the next 24 to 36 hours, that is certainly going to be the heat moving in this Sunday. Don't let it catch you off guard. So I'll leave you here with your 7-day forecast. Going to be pushing towards 90 again Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And just keep in mind, we have not hit 90 yet this year. So enjoy this cooler air while it lasts. Still going to be in the upper 70s for our Wednesday, probably below 70 for our Thursday, tracking a few rain chances there. And then the heat is on. Stick around. Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley will be right back in a few minutes.